underway. Kill my mind for slow, slow, slow. Hold me till I scream for air to breathe. And wash me over until my will runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby, 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 baby.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I hope all is well with you. We're back with another video. Please make sure your thumbs are lit, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and push that notification bell so you're notified whenever I drop a video. So we're going to get right into it. Again, we're on this series, on this journey, hearing how this young lady did 32 days in jail and did not commit the crime. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring her back to the stage so she can finish telling us her story.
Fast forward, I go to jail. Fast forward, they deny bond. Fast forward, mama get out. Fast forward, whatever. So now we back in jail. But I need y'all to hold on to that part with the brawl, the girl, all of that. I get cool with this girl in there, and her name was Devon. And when I say y'all, for years after I got out, because it happened in 2007, so for years I would look her name up and try to find her. When I say y'all, when I met that girl in there, she was truly the highlight of me being in there. Like, she really made everything better. Like, she seen that I was scared. She seen that I was nervous. She seen everything. And I never forget, I was sitting on the steps, and she was the one that gave me the nickname Pumpkin. She was like, hey, Pumpkin. She was like, you know how to shoot ball? I was like, nah. She was like, come on. Because they were going to wreck. I was just going to stay back. She was like, come on. I was like, I don't want to go. She was like, man, girl, come on. So we go the wreck. She bouncing ball. She shooting. We talking. So she asked me what I was in there for. I was telling her. And then she was telling me about her life and stuff like that. And it was like we instantly just clicked. And it was like, y'all, I literally looked forward to seeing her every day. Like, when they would pop the doors to let us out, like, I went right down into her room. Or she'll come down there with me. Somewhere so my roommate, the one who I told y'all, the bulldagger, she was like, she had got jealous. Like, she had literally got jealous. She don't need to be coming out. So I didn't know before I got there, they were fighting over the women. So, because Devin, the one who I'm telling y'all who I got real close to fun with, she was a stud too. So her and my roommate were fighting over the women. I didn't know all of this when I got there. So when my roommate started seeing me, like, they called her Dred, but her real name was Debbie. But when Dred would come to the door to get me, my roommate would get an attitude. She'll be like, she'll say all kind of stuff about her. And then one day I just started telling her what my roommate was saying. She was like, yeah, she hate on me. Because the last girl that was here, I took her from her. This whole Jerry Springer stuff, y'all, it was crazy. But nevertheless, me and Devin, we were talking. You know, she was telling me about her childhood. I was telling her about my childhood and everything I was going through. I was telling her why I was in there. She kept saying, why you just won't tell where your sister is? Like, all of them in there was saying it. Like, it was so many people trying to get in my head, like, oh, you stupid, you crazy. If I had to do was get out was tell on my somebody, I ain't finna do the time for nobody, sister or not, mama or nobody. So it was easy for them to say that. But they were trying to get in my head. But anyway, so Debbie was just like, you know, you got your children at home. She like, but I understand. She like, you know, I get you. She like, I rock with you or whatever. Okay, maybe. So
You can honestly respect someone when they have every reason to snitch on you, but they don't. Like, that's honorable what they did, sitting up in there 32 days and, you know, not snitching on their sister. Again, they got kids at least she did have kids at home to go to. So that's definitely, I think people will look at that from a respect point of view.
Oh, again, now this is what y'all gonna laugh at. Y'all gonna be like, Nene, you a green bean in real life, for real. And I was back then for sure. So I had done got so close with Devin Dread to the point so where like I started to mimic her ways, if that made sense. So like how she would talk with her hands, I started talking my hands the same way. How she would kind of like laugh, I found myself laughing the same. Because again, we would literally talk all day. When they pop locks in the morning, we out in the day room all day playing cards, talking junk. I go down there to her room. She wouldn't really come to my room because again, her and my roommate didn't like each other. But we'll be out there in Rex together. We would go to church together. We would pray together. So I literally started mimicking her. So much so, y'all. Now back then, I didn't know nothing about that little pill. If y'all know what I mean. I didn't know nothing about that. When Fable said he started to see spaceships on Bankhead, that pill, I didn't know that she used to be on it before she got in there. So Devin had this thing where she would do this. All right? I didn't know what that was. She would just talk and she would do this. So much so to what I'm telling y'all, when I said I mimicked a lot of her ways, the way she laughed, the way I started to. So y'all, I find myself in here talking to people. You know what I mean? That's about. I like cuz, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Now people gonna think she was on that thing because she was over there mimicking somebody else. I cannot. That's crazy. Because you literally can have people thinking you was on that stuff, you know, that give you that jaw. That's crazy.
Yo, bite down. I mean, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, like. But it was like, it became a really bad habit. And me not knowing that's why she do that. I didn't know nothing about that type of performance medication because I wasn't on it. Until one day somebody told me, they were like, what the hell? They were like, Punk, why the hell you in here moving your mouth like that? They're like, you doing that same shit Dread be on. You know, Dread be on the pit. I was like, what? Like, what? Just stupid for real, right? So anyway, me and Devin become super cool. So Devin broke the news to me, y'all, that she only had about 5 days before she was getting out. Mind you, I was on my second denied bond, and she's telling me the only person that I'm cool with, the only person that I look forward to seeing in here, the only person that made me glad and I'm happy, made me happy in here is got 5 days, and she gone. I was sad. I ain't gonna hold you. I was sad. So as them 5 days started dwindling down, she kept saying, Punky, you gonna miss me? I was like, I ain't. I'm gonna cry when you leave. She like, man, go ahead. She like, we gonna write each other. She like, I'm gonna write you. She like, when you get out, you gotta call me, whatever. I was like, I'm just gonna be sad. So I never forget. We went that same that same night. We went to Red. We had dinner. We came back, and she knew her date. She knew the exact date, so it ain't like it was a surprise for her. But she had already packed her stuff up early that day, and she told me, she said, so they locked us up. But they kept her door popped though because she was leaving. So they didn't lock her room down. They just locked everybody else up. She came to my door. Well, not my door. She came to the door, to the room that I was in. She sat down on the ground, y'all. We talked for about 3 hours. Because it took them just that long for them to call her to like pack it up to leave. Y'all, we talked for like 3 hours. My roommate was burning hot mad. Because I was at the door standing up talking, and Dread was sitting on the floor. And when I tell y'all, Dread told me everything from like how she even became, you know, lesbian and stuff like that, and her life and everything. It was just so, it was like that refreshing conversation. But like when they said, they called her like, Devin Bennett, so pack it up. And she was like, all right, Pumpkin. No, I don't. I had never seen her since. So like I said, they said, pack it up. We, you know, I literally could hear her crying through the door. I was crying. Like, I could hear her. She like, Punky, she like, man, don't be in there crying. Don't be no punk. When Peter Pan was like, no, you stop crying. You stop crying. I can hear you crying.
You
We
are
both was just
crying.
crying, and then she gave me a number, told me that I could reach her on that number. I gave her at the time what would have been my cell phone number, but I was in there so long, back then when phone number canceled out so quick. So I gave her at the time what would have been my cell phone number, and she left. I was sick, y'all. I was sick for like 2-3 days. Everybody kept coming checking me like, you all right? Your Korean gone. You good? I'm like, no. They were like, y'all, she missed Dread, y'all. And I did. So I remember once I got out and stuff like that and everything got situated, settled, I remember looking her up sometimes later. And she had got locked back up. She had got locked. Because at this time, this one you can Google somebody's name and they mugshot will come up. Now you got to pay for it. But back then, you could do. She had got locked back up. But what I did do, because she used to tell me, she said, Pumpkin, I be downtown by Garnett Street and Broad Street and Garnett down there by the train station. Because she said that was she used to trap at. She said, if you come down there, she's like, that's where you could find me at. And I remember when I did get out, once I went to pretrial, checked in with the pretrial officer, went to court, I walked Broad Street. And of course, I wasn't going to be like, hey, anybody know? I went to look for her and she wasn't there. And I've always thought about her since then, y'all, because she really, really, really made, you know what I'm saying? She really just made it. She made me okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, like I said, that goddamn Devin had me in that time like this, like. But anyway, so Devin leaves. And now I'm just trying to, I'm sad now because her name Devin Bennett. I pulled her mugshot up years ago, but then I don't know. She had when I seen her back in 2007, when I first met her, she had long dreads. Her dreads stopped mid back. Now I wouldn't know if she had dreads or not. But what I will say is I would be able to recognize her if I seen her again. I'll never forget her face. And I wouldn't even forget her voice. She's short. If I had to guess her height, I don't know, if I'm 5'6", she probably 5'4". She was short or whatever the case may be. But yeah. So I always look for her. But nevertheless, so Devin get out. I'm in there all alone, right? I'm back seeing my sister at church. That's how I see my sister. So our court date is steadily approaching. So I'm on week 4. I'm already in there 20. Shit, y'all, I'm in there 25 days at this point in time. The quit weed that I done lied and told these people was so in, it's about to come out. You got people in there auctioning off my weed. They like, hey, Punk, when you take that out, I give you two salamis, I give you orange, I give you this, and now she tell me she's gonna get to me like they literally in there arguing about to fight over my hair weed. So I had to order a perm on the stove because I was like, yeah, this is gonna come out my head. I was tired of, trying to get it to stay down. It was all, it was mixed. My books was straight. The boy there to make sure I had money. Because he was going to my job, picking up my checks and stuff like that. So, and then he would come to visitation. I signed a check, he'll deposit. So money was on the books, money was on the phone, whatever the case may be. So I went missing. Then I was, having him to put money on Sagittarius book or whatever the case may be. So I'm about to order a perm and stuff. I'm about to give it up, y'all. At this point, I have accepted my new life. Yeah, you can order a perm on stove. Well, you could back then. I don't know what you could do now, but back then on stove, you definitely could order a perm. So I done accept. Y'all, at this point, I done came to grips with my new fate. And I done accepted it. And it's just what it is. I'm going to be here. And it's just what it is. Okay, so now like I said, I'm out. So at this point, after me finna get ready to order the perm, y'all ain't got to try to ease on there. Y'all come in. They trying.
I don't know why he trying.
Come in. Y'all want to come on my live real quick? Tell people, hey. Because we got
convict.
Tuck bait beat. Got for that answer.
What?
Oh, I'm on it. Let's see.
No, he's
They my mugshot, y'all. They be my mugshot.
What? Anyway, get on my last. I give it where I came from. They say, hey, y'all.
I can't see my mugshot.
Who that mugshot look? Which one of them look like my mugshot? Which one?
Which one y'all think look like
the most? No, they can't see. I pull the hood.
Let's see.
I'm trying to make her face fresh.
He definitely got her eyes. So then,
Anyway,
both of
so
them.
we gotta get. So we gonna get back to the thing.
Try, man. I swear to God, look when they put it, pop it, and knock it.
No, don't do all that in my video. Don't do all that in my video. We gone. No.
She's like, don't do.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
Yo, I cannot.
I won't be tired. I'm be energized.
Yo.
So boom. So
Before she go, boom. Yo, Black mothers, I swear, you gotta love us. Cause he starts doing his thing. Don't you do all that in my video. Yo, I think that was hilarious.
yeah. So I'm on like day 27, 28. We approaching court, right? So now, you know, me and Sagittarius like, sister, you think they gonna give us a bond? I done lost our hope. I said, sister, they done denied our bond. What, two times? Boy, child, you scared me. No, really, you did. They done denied our bond. First time, they done denied our bond twice. Remember, first time they denied it when we was in the court inside the jail. Second time they didn't even come and get us. They denied us from the courthouse. Third time, I don't got too much hope. We still ain't got no lawyer. I don't know. Again, I'm ordering perms and all this stuff. I'll come say I don't got no hope. You finna spend the night at noon house?
Oh, good for you.
So yeah. So no, Sagittarius didn't sell. We didn't sell. Nobody told. We didn't sell. So we again, they call. So so court is here. Court is here. We going to court. Court day is here. We at day 30. We at day 30 and we finally get to go to court. They call our name this time, y'all.
Happy.
They call our name, so we really get to go
And amp.
get on the bus, ride down there, go to court. At some point, plead our case, right? We get to the court. They take us upstairs, put us in a holding cell in the back. We sitting there, time ticking, tick, 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 tick. Nobody name call, nobody name call, nobody name call, nobody name call. We in the holding cell in court. Right, cause what is this lady talking about? Why she on here tell her real name? That's on you, Sagittarius. So we in here tick, 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 tick. So they never call our name. We back there. I don't like sister think they done forgot about us. So we yelling through the bar, hey, guard, like, you know, like, hey, like, what time? So the guy ended up coming. I was like, is they gonna call us? Like, we gonna go before the judge? Like, he was like, you know, it's y'all. We got down there that morning, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. We got down there 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I asked the guard what time it was, y'all. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We still was back there in that holding cell. So we did 8 hours, or 9 to 5.
Oh, that's great.
Without seeing a judge. But we was at the court. This time we made it to the court. We did. Okay. So the guy, the officer come back there. He say, y'all not gonna it's my hair. I got school tomorrow. But you're gonna have to pick it up, but I don't know. I can't. Ain't no school tomorrow. You was school with? Oh well, maybe Atlanta's the only one on break. Anyway, but nevertheless. So the police officer, the guard come back there. He say, the judge ain't gonna see y'all today. I said, huh? Y'all, yeah.
I'd have been through.
Me and Sagittarius looking at each other like, what? I ain't had no more tears to cry. The crime was that was out. I think at some point I had already built myself up to be let down. So it was less of a shocker for me. So he said, but you sign these papers. He had 2 pieces of paper. He said, which one is Sims and which one is so-and-so? And I'm me and she. He said, sign these papers. I said, what it is? He said, you want to go home, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, okay, we'll sign these papers. So what had happened was, they had court without us. They never called us out. We stayed in the back. I told y'all, from the time we got down there, which was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, up until 5. They had been hearing our case. They had been up front arguing our case without us. So I guess she never cared to call us up there to the front. So when he came back there with the papers, she had granted us the bond. Baby, let me tell you something. Okay. Hold up. Listen, I signed on the dotted line, baby. Free me. Listen. So me and Sagittarius, we high five and we like, we going home, since we going home. We are going home. And we get on that bus, we ride back to that jail. We telling everybody, like, how did it go? Yeah, we going home. Everybody, clapping it up for us, high five. We gonna miss y'all. Well, this is what they were doing for me on my side. Sagittarius on the other side. But we gonna miss you, Pumpkin. Oh my God. Get my address. Get my phone number. Make sure you write me. Make sure you do all of that. Now, mind you, I'm gonna hold y'all right there because I told y'all I was in there. And me and Dre became cool. But I wanna, and I don't know if that lady's still living, and if she is, God bless her. If not, God bless her soul. This lady named Miss Tracy. Sorry, she was a this color lady, and she's an older lady. Miss Tracy had to be every bit in her early 60s, and she was from Tennessee. She would walk around the whole pod all day. She would just walk nonstop. And sometimes she'll get a group of people to walk with her. That's her thing. And I never forget, I walked with her one day, and she was telling me why she was in there. She said she had 72 counts of fraud. And she said they was trying to offer her 20 some odd years. And she was saying how my husband took the kids and turned his back on me or whatever. But Miss Tracy, she, and I often wondered about her. I wrote her a couple times after I got out, but I couldn't, life had to go on for me. I couldn't keep up with everything. So Miss Tracy was one of the women I'll never forget while I was in there. Of course, we talked about Dread. This other girl, they used to call her, they used to call her by her last name. I forget her last name, but I think once I tell y'all the story, it'll come to me. I won't say I won't forget her because she was nice or she did something special. She was a handful. So she was accused of unaliving her daughter, right? Her infant daughter. I forget how old the baby was. But nobody would fool with her. She was one of the trustees. So she would help clean up. She would help give out the trays. She would help do all. Her last name was Banks. That's what it was. It was Banks. So she was big, y'all. She was an Amazon. Big girl. Big. I'm talking about, put you in the mind of what you call on Green Mile. She was huge. And so when she talked, she had this rumble in her voice. She would command your attention when she talked. She talked, like I said, she looked scary. And so nobody would fool with her. Everybody was like, yeah, she was the one that she unalived her baby. She's an unaliver. She's an unaliver. That's what they would say about her. And I remember one day she got into it with this other older lady named, what's the word? Her Roxanne. Boy, Roxanne would be. Now, Roxanne, I forget what Roxanne was in there for a child, but Roxanne was messy. Roxanne was the one that kept all the drama going up in there. But her and Roxanne got into it. We froze. What part y'all need me to pick up off? Somebody said we froze. I'm good. Okay. So Roxanne was the one that kept all the drama going. One day Roxanne and Banks get into it in there. I think it was something about some soap or some socks or some underwear. It was something about some hygiene product is what I like to truly remember. Well, now Roxanne was a big woman. And she wasn't really mobile like that. Like she was huge. And she would have to walk with a limp a little bit, you know what I'm saying, in a sense. Baby, but listen, Banks came at that door, y'all. It took like 7 guards to get to like refrain Banks because she was trying to get at Roxanne. And all while, this is how Roxanne was provoking Banks. Because while Roxanne, but he going with Noonan? Oh, so all while Roxanne, Banks trying to get at Roxanne, guess what Roxanne saying to Banks? Yeah, B, yeah, you did that to that baby. You did that. Look at you. Look at that rage in your eyes. The same rage you got in your eye. That's how I know you did that to that baby. That B did that to that baby. She did that. Look, this is the same way you trying to haul if I go home, but he said he was finna go. She's about the same way you were trying to the same way you trying to get at me. You did that to that baby. Like, this is what she's telling this girl. Like, Roxanne was messy. Roxanne was good and messy. But nevertheless, so after this whole blow up, Banks in the room, she crying. Everybody on Roxanne's side, because Roxanne was like the big mama of the pod. She would get you, she used to help put money on people's books. She used to let people use her three-way, all that. So everybody rocked with Roxanne. I didn't have to because I didn't need her money or none of that stuff. And I felt like even if Banks was what they was accusing her to be, you didn't have to do that in that moment, Roxanne. Like, you took that to try to do too much. And nevertheless, so I remember going out of the Banks room and I remember sticking my head in the door and I was like, you okay? She was in there, y'all. She was furious. She was crying. She rocking back and forth. Well, she had papers on her lap. And she was like, I'm tired of people saying I did that. I'm tired of people saying I did. I didn't do that to my baby. I loved my baby. She was like, it was an accident. That baby did that to herself. But let's not go there because I don't know. Because there might be somebody on this line that's a kid and lady and whatever. I think Banks ended up going down there, going down the road. But I remember Banks showing me her discovery package, baby, and Banks tried to justify that every which way. And I'm not no judge, so I can't say she did or she didn't. But nevertheless, so Tracy, Dredd, and Banks are the three that I truly won't forget that place. I won't forget from that place again. Tracy and Dredd was like the two that I really was fond of. Banks just was like that when I seen her flip out like that, and you know, that was it. So fast forward, me and Sagittarius, we done got our paperwork. The judge done signed it. Hey, they say we can go. When we get to the jail, we high-fiving everybody. Hey, everybody go. See y'all, miss y'all, write me, talk to you later, whatever. Head count, dinner calm. Head count calm. They normally tell you to pack it up around head count. Ain't nobody saying nothing. So I'm asking the guard, I'm like, hey, we got a bond. Like, don't we supposed to be leaving tonight? Like, the judge, she was like, oh, let me look in the system and see. Look in the system. Still no bond. So me and Sagittarius trying to figure out, like, what kind of games these people playing with our life? Because we was down there, we signed the paperwork. It was a yellow piece of paper. We signed it. We gave it back. Did the guard turn it in? Like, what the F? What's going on? So we called home, and my mama lawyer, she was like, the judge forgot to sign off on one of the... So the judge, remember I told y'all we had 3 charges. 2 counts of aggravated assault with the possession of a firearm. And then, 2 counts of aggravated assault. Yeah, 2 counts of aggravated assault. 1 count of aggravated possession of a firearm to a commission of a felon, whatever. So the judge signed off on the 2 aggravated assault, but she forgot to sign off on the possession of the firearm. So the bond wasn't valid. The bond wasn't valid. It was not valid. We only signed for the 2 aggravated assaults. So it was 3 charges. We only signed, she only wrote 2 on the paper. She, for whatever reason, she forgot to put the possession of the firearm doing commission of the felon on there. She forgot that part. So it wasn't valid. That part wasn't valid. So we sitting there like, so when we called home, that's when we found out, because nobody in the jail could tell us what was going on. We had to call home, and our family was the one that told us, because they was waiting on us too. Hey, the judge, so you got to, and y'all, this happened on a Friday. A Friday. Ain't no courts working Saturday and Sunday. No courts is working on a Saturday and no Sunday. So what in the world? So we gotta wait Monday. So in my head, y'all kept saying, you know what? This one I learned patience in life. I'm still learning, but I learned a lot then. I said, you know what, Nene? You can't change what already is happening. If it's out of your control, you gotta just let it go. So I was like, at least you know y'all are going. It was a mishap. Okay, she got signed, whatever, boom, boom, boom. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. So Saturday come, right? Saturday come. I'm in there. No. Okay, so we spend the weekend in there. So remember I told y'all it was day 28. So 29 was Saturday. 30 or was no 29 was Sunday. I'm sorry. 29 was Sunday. Friday. Sorry, y'all. Friday. 30 was Saturday. 31 was Sunday. Okay. Remember I told y'all we spent 32 days in jail. So 31 was Sunday. Boom. Monday come. This is how this story will come full circle. Right? So y'all listen in. Y'all gotta listen. So I would have slept the whole weekend. I read the Bible so much. I should know the Bible by the back of my hand. Okay. Monday come. We knew we weren't gonna wake up and leave Monday morning because you gotta go back down there to the court. You gotta sign paperwork. It gotta be processed. By the way, we got signature bonds. So we didn't have to pay to get out because we didn't have a record. Me and Secretary got signature bonds. So we knew we weren't gonna wake up and be out that morning, but we figured sometime, hey, underlay, whatever, right? So I'm sitting on the steps. I'm anxious. I can't even sit still, y'all. Every time I hear them come over the intercom, I'm looking for them to say, Sim, 617, pack it up, is what I'm looking for them to say. The doors pop. So now a new batch of people is coming in. Right? I can't remember the exact number, but I'm gonna give y'all a little rough draft. Let's say about four new women coming in the part that I was in. 4 new women. They coming in, same look that we all have. Rags and bags. Right? Slow dragging. So they saying, you go here, whatever the case may be, you go there. Well, out of one of them 4 women, one I recognize. And I look and I say, that look like so-and-so cousin them people. The same one who we just got the fight with at the club 2 weeks before I got locked up. They look like her. Oh, Lord, I'm finna have to fight in the E4 jail. God, I'm supposed to be leaving today. How do you put today is the day that I leave. I'm leaving today. How you put my enemy in here? There's no way out of anybody that you could have put in here. Not the girl that we just got to fight with 2 weeks before a week or 2 before I got arrested. No, girl, you ain't did that. Now you not make me land it on you. So I go downstairs, I shake the door, and I tell Secretary, I said, girl, so-and-so in here. Now, Secretary wasn't really hip to who she was by name, but she knew the situation. So she was like, sister, she was like, they don't say that. I said, no, I ain't saying that. I said, it ain't really for never me. I said, I'm going home. I said, I don't care. They can bring the neighbor from hell in here today. It won't be nothing said. I'm going home, is what I told Secretary. So the girl, she go to her room, she put her stuff up, and she comes sit at the top of the steps. So I was already in the room that I was, staying in. I ain't gonna call it my room because I would never claim nothing up in there. They had to do with that place. So I'm coming out of the room that I was staying in. She at the top of the steps, right? She at the top of the steps. The position that they call in rec call. So, if you go on the rec, you can go on and go out now. So that's why I'm leaving out. She at the position to where I would have to say, excuse me, to get down. That's what she's sitting at the top. So I'm like, okay, I gotta walk past this bitch. I gotta say, excuse me. Like, why you even stand where I don't even want it? Like, now I feel like you being funny. Cause why you stand right here? Cause why? This is the top of the steps. Like, move, is what I'm thinking. So I get close by the step and I say, excuse me. Just whatever, right? I was like, excuse me. And she looked up, kind of looking at me. And she was like, hey, Nene. Is what she said. And I was like, hey, I called about her now. I was like, hey, so-and-so. And she was like, where y'all about to go? I said, this rec call, we about to go to rec. She was like, oh. She was like, I guess I'll go. And I'm looking like, bitch, you don't go with me. Find somebody, cause this, So we get the rec. She over there in the corner, and I'm walking around. Me Tracy, I told me Tracy do laps. She do laps. So I'm walking around me Tracy. I'm telling me Tracy all what been going on with my cousin and her and all them at the club, at the boy and all that. And I noticed just her just in a daze. You know what I'm saying? As me and Miss Tracy lapping around the gym or the room, she in a daze. She not really in tune, which most people don't when they first get in there, you know? And so after they let us out from rec, we go in, we finna get ready and eat. You know what I'm saying? So they calling, count. So we go, we line up, we get counted. And then we know after that it's trays up. Well, trays up, I take the tray that they gave me and I set it on the table. I was supposed to come back down and just nitpick through it, see what all I wanted. But I went back up to the room. I forget y'all why I went, but I went back. So when I came back down, she was sitting in the same spot that she was in before we went to rec. And some just jumped out to me to say something to her again. Like, I said, you okay? And she was like, I don't have no other choice but to be. And I was like, she like, how long you been in here? She like, you been in here for a minute, ain't it? I was like, yeah. I was like, 30-something days. I like 32 days. Like, they made 32 days. I was like, we supposed to be going home, but I don't really know. I was like, it's like a mix up with our paperwork. She was like, yeah. She was like, Nene, she like, when I first heard you locked up, she was like, I felt so sad. She was like, because I was just like, that girl don't bother nobody. Like, and the stuff that they was saying that y'all did and stuff like that, she was like, I just couldn't see you doing it. She was like, I couldn't believe. She was like, then your cousin them was dogging you out. They was saying that's what you did. You think you all this, you think you all that, and look at you now, this, that, and the other. And I was like, yeah, I don't care about them people, whatever case may be. I was like, yeah, I don't care about all that. At the time, I'm like, I don't even care. And I was like, well, what you in here for? So she started telling me what she was in there for. And Lord, it definitely made me feel a lot better about my situation, because I was like, baby, they sound like what you saying you in here for, it sound like you about to get riding and laid to the side. And she was telling me that she likes to mix on, it's a mix up, it's a misunderstanding, all that. So as we talking, we get more into the conversation. She like, Nene, you cool. She like, you not like that. She like, I'm glad I got a chance to see you and talk to you. She was like, all the stuff that they were saying about you, they made it seem like you was a bad person, this, that, whatever. So as me and her making, men's and kumbaya and really getting to the bottom of who was the one that was like in our ear having us to kind of collide more so. Baby, them people said, Sim 617, pack it up. Ho! Baby, in the midst of her pouring out her heart to me, I said, boo, I gotta go. I said, write your number down. I said, damn, not your number. I said, go get something right with it. I'll give you my number. I said, yeah. And listen, I'm out of here.
Right.
I
got to go.
Listen. I got to go. We could be friends outside of here. I got to go today though. Is what I got to do. Baby, I grab this. I started giving out chips, cookies, everything. I had all the commissary. Y'all, it was like I was making it rain up and I was throwing that shit over the balance. Who wants a cookie? Who wants chip? Who want a pie? Who want noodle? Baby, you get a noodle. Everybody get a motherfucking noodle, baby. I'm out of here. Listen. Everybody get a noodle. I'm gone. Bye. Hey, somebody. Listen, y'all, it was okay. Point blank period. So, and she was like clapping for me and stuff too. She was laughing because I was just so excited and frantic and stuff. So I jetted down the step. I shook the door. And I was like, well, tell Sarah because of the. I like, sister. She said, sister, we better go home. I said, we go. So listen, child, because I had to make sure they told her to pack it up as well, and they did. And so we hollered through the house, we going home. Man, I was so stoked. And so I just never forget, me dragging my little pillowcase down the stairs and stuff like that. I had all my mail and things like that because I had been getting letters and stuff. I had one of my coworkers who rolled that thing out with me. Man, that girl rolled it out with me. Like, she was sending me all kind of cards and stuff. I didn't even know she was sending me money. It took them to tell me that there were because I was getting these little slips, and they were like, "Punkin, that's the money order receipt." They said somebody's putting money on your book. They were like, "Read it." And when I read it, y'all, and it was my coworker, I was just like, "Man, I am really loved." I was like, "Dang, even my coworker now coming down here putting money on my book." And I hadn't talked to them since the last time I seen them at work before I got locked up. But anyway, so yeah, so I remember walking out. I remember turning around and everybody was standing at the top of the step. Bye, Pumpkin. We gonna miss you. Don't forget about us. Write me. Right? I'm right, y'all. And she was just sitting right there. She was just smiling. She was just like, bye. And sure enough, y'all, I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. I wrote her. Not only did I wrote her a handful of times, probably between 4 to 5 times. I even put money on my phone for her to call me, and I put money on her books. This is the same female that I told y'all 2 weeks before I got locked up. We was in the parking lot fighting with them. Her and my blood cousins now. But she was on there telling me about how these same people didn't keep it real with her. When she would call me from jail, because she did she actually did 6 months. She did 6 months before they gave her a bond. Yep. Because like I said, when she was telling me her charges when she got in there, I was like, shit. She did 6 months before they gave her a bond. It was either 3 or 6, y'all. Let me stop. It was either 3 or 6. It was longer than them 32 I did. But she would tell me, she would write me and be like, I really thought your cousin was my friend. She was like, they ain't wrote me, they ain't came visit me, they ain't putting on my shit. Like, you have done more for me than they have. She was like, and you ain't even my friend for real. Like, I'm one of them, I keep my word type of people. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. If I'm just that type of person. Like, even if I can't get it in, I'm gonna give you a reason why I can't get it in that time. But I got you though. I'm one of them. So she was just, she wrote me back and stuff like that. Like I said, I put time on my phone a couple of times because Tracy, I would write Tracy's. Me and Tracy stayed in contact for a little while before they shipped her off. So I stayed in contact with them for a little while or whatever the case may be before it got all crazy. Before my life got back on track. I ain't gonna say it got crazy because my life got back on track. Remember I told you I was working at AT&T. With me being away for them 32 days, I lost my job. Of course, they tried their best to hold that job for me because me and my manager, one of my managers, we was really, really cool. So she did what she could to hold the job for me. But, of course, they had to fill the position or whatever the case may be. So I lost my job. I was enrolled at the time before I got locked up. That following week, I was supposed to start college, to go to college. I missed that because it was, y'all, I lost a lot behind it. So I have talked to y'all. What time it is? Ooh, goodness. Man, listen. Y'all gotta promise me one. They talking about what about Leo? Y'all think that was something. I gave y'all what happened to land us in jail, and I gave y'all what went on in jail. I have not nowhere near scratched the surface and start to tell y'all what took place after jail. Because things got worse after jail. Because just like y'all in here asking, what about Leo? What about the neighbor from hell? What about all these people? All of these people had their time, had their day, had their place. But I gotta go. I gotta get it to bed. Like, I literally gotta get up in the morning. If I'm long gonna go off at 4:30, I gotta be out of the bed by 5. Calling, waking Noon up for work at 5:30. I gotta be to work, and I gotta take the car to the eye doctor in the morning, so I can't be tired. Y'all, tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm gonna rock out with y'all tomorrow, right? I'm gonna literally rock out with y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna tell y'all how I'm gonna give y'all a teaser for tomorrow's live story time. How about me and Sagittarius We go ahead on. We get, we get booked out. They book us out of jail, right? How about the very next day? The very next day. And for some of us that done had to run in with the law, we know how that works. After you get out of jail, the next day you got to report to some type of court. If you got your, it'd be like that. But how about the very next day? Neighbor from hell was calling the police on us, getting us locked up again. Bye, y'all. Tomorrow. 24 hours after. Is nothing we could have possibly done to you. We just got out. We didn't get home till like 11:30 that night. The boys' daddy came and picked us up from the train station because we was walking away from the jail. By the time we went to go report to the pretrial officers, the public defender office, we had to go down there, get assigned our public defender office. And we had to go, we had to go to court first. I'm sorry, we had to go to court first. After court, you go to get assigned your pretrial officer. By the time we did all that, let's say, for instance, we were done by noon, maybe 1 o'clock. The police was back knocking at our door. What time y'all want me to start the story time? Y'all gonna be good at 7? Cause me starting at 8 pushed me here, and I'm noticing that this y'all 7, I think 7, and then we'll just kind of wing it from there. 7, yeah. Cause that way, if it run past, like at least if it. I do. Where y'all at? Y'all been on my line. Y'all been hitting me. Y'all been like, it's 7 o'clock. Y'all been in the comments saying it's 7:02 now. It's 7. Y'all been counting me down. Where y'all at? Y'all supposed to be in here like the first day of school, on time, excited. Make sure y'all let me know how my service is doing too. If I break up or it's choppy or anything, make sure y'all keep me posted on that. I don't want to just be talking and then I'm froze and then, y'all missing some of the vital parts of the story. But hey, y'all, welcome back. Y'all see I got the big house in the back there. What y'all know about that place back there?
Nothing.
Listen, I know a lot. Like I was telling y'all, I know enough about that place because guess what? We all know at this point, we should all know I did 32 days in that place for something that I did not do. Reen said, I've been waiting all day. I've been waiting all day to talk to y'all. I hadn't ran behind time because remember initially we had all voted on 7 o'clock yesterday. Well, for today. But time caught up with me and then I started kind of feeling a little under the weather, so whatever. We're going to wait till a few more people get in here and then I go ahead on and kick it out. I'm definitely not holding y'all long like last night. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to get to some points. Even if I got to skip a few things, I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty, but I'm not keeping y'all up 11:30, 12 o'clock like last night. I was so tired, y'all trying to get up for work. I get up. Normally I can get up. I can really stay up late because my mental and my body's programmed just to get up, but I ain't going to hold you. I was bobbing and weaving at that computer today. It was tough, but I made it through. But you somebody don't skip nothing. Listen, I ain't going to hold y'all in here too long, so we got 235 people in with us right now, so we can go ahead on and kick it off. For those who late, guess what? They just late. They gonna have to. I'll probably post this live tomorrow or something like that. But anyway, so where we left off at? Who was here with us last night? Who was here with us? I need for somebody to tell me where did we left. I know where we left off at last night, but I want to see who in the comments who invested in the story, who locked in. Where did we leave off at last night? What did I tell y'all last thing that happened? What? They called the police. Okay, Pooh Bear. Okay. Okay, I like that for you. So yeah, that's where we left off at. I was telling y'all that once we got out of jail, me and Sagittarius got out of jail. Of course, the judge finally signed our bond. We got out. I think we might have walked out the doors. It was a little bit before midnight. And back then, They had like a policy at the Fulton County Jail where females had to be released before midnight. One of the reasons being because the transit system stopped. I think the train might have stopped at midnight. So they made it their business to make sure all the females was released out before midnight. And number two, years ago, I'm not sure when, but years ago, a female inmate that was released walking from Fulton County was actually raped while she was, I don't know, on her way to the train station or whatever. So again, they made it their business to release females before midnight. So again, it's before midnight, we headed out. I already done called the boy's dad. He on the way, right? So he pick us up along the way. We get in the car again, like I told y'all. We go home. We head home. Make sure y'all let me know. Make sure y'all let me know about my signal. If it fades out, if it freezes, anything, y'all gotta keep me posted. I'm gonna be glancing down. Herb, don't come in here. Listen, Herb, don't distract me. Don't come in here with that foolishness. Sagittarius is a code name I gave for my sister. I cannot reveal her real identity, which she's actually in the comments. She should be. She was just on here earlier, and she was on here yesterday. So I just don't care to put my sister's name out there. She can reveal herself in the comments. She can let her know, sister, if you on this live, drop. If you want to know who you is, you can just say, hey, I'm Sagittarius. If not, if you want to remain anonymous, then I don't blame you. But nevertheless, so we get out. We drive back to Boy home, to the trenches, the slum of it all, right? And no one was outside this particular night. Again, we get home, so by the time the boys' dad pick us up and we head on, we get home close to midnight. If it wasn't already midnight, right? Nobody is out. Nobody's outside. The cul-de-sac that we were staying in is dead out there. Crickets, right? You hear nothing. It's a Monday night. Most people put up for school, or we ain't gonna say work, because them motherfuckers out there didn't have no job for real. But anyway, so nobody would have truly seen us get out the car and go in the house. But then this morning, we had to report to court. We had to go to court. We had first appearance court after being released. And then after court, we had to go to pretrial, which is the services that bonded us out. Remember, I told you, me and my sister, we had got a signature bond, because we had good records, so we didn't have to pay, our cash, our own capital to get out. Nevertheless, we go to court. We get, arraigned and all this stuff like that, and then we go to pretrial. Okay, well, after pretrial, which took a couple of hours or whatever to get assigned, it wasn't a probation officer. They just called a pretrial officer. I'll never forget that man now. He's a white man. I forgot, can't say some word. He was this color right here. And he was like a real bitch. Like, his name was Bruce Romanoff. I couldn't stand Mr. Romanoff. He was like super, and he was like, if you don't call on this day, if it's 10 minutes late for calling, I'm going to violate you. I'm going to do. My boy was just doing too much. So but I was free. I didn't care. Like, you want me to call? I'm going to call you a day before time. You hear me? Like, you want me to call you on Tuesday? I'm going to call you on Monday. I don't want no smoke, y'all. I'm not trying to go back down there with him. So, I go see him. Take a couple of hours to go see, wrap it up with Mr. Romanoff. And from there, I headed down to my old workplace. Remember, I told y'all I was working at AT&T at the time, and I lost my job while we was locked up because, I'm in there for over a month. They got to fill the position. So I go get my separation notice or whatever the case may be. And I remember I told y'all I was super cool with one of my managers. We was like really close. And so she was excited to see me just because I had been gone, and, we were just going to catch up. So I go see her. I get my separation notice. We talking. Now, it's important that y'all remember the fact that I'm telling y'all I went to go get my separation notice, because the next set of events is going to make a whole, more sense as to why this even, So, boom. Give me separation notice from my old manager. Talk it up with her. Hugs, kisses. See you later. We gonna, this ain't the end. I'm still on the other side. Well, I leave. I still have my car and all that stuff. So I leave. I drive off. I head home. I'm not even in the house, y'all. Maybe 2 hours after being in first appearance court, going to see the probation with a pretrial officer, and going to get my separation notice from my job. I did all of that and was home by 2 o'clock. By 4 p.m. that same day, the police is knocking at our door. Right? Now, y'all, I got PTSD at this point. Even before PTSD became a thing, Now when I see the police, I'm fidgeting. I'm jumping, baby. You know, cause what? So they knocking at the door. We all looking at each other like, what? Like, what could even be going on? We fresh out. We not even 24 hours out. Me and Sagittarius fresh out. My mama been out now for 2 weeks now, and it been quiet. My mama said nothing been going on. You know, the neighbor from hell, you know, across the yard, she looking at, you know, jugging and stuff. But little did my mama know she was working. She working out her devilment and her hell. I'll tell y'all about that later. But anyway, so police knock on the door. They ask for me, and they asked for Sagittarius by our government names. Well, I'm standing right there. I'm like, okay, well, I'm so-and-so. And he was like, step outside. So I ain't have on no shoes. He like, you got some shoes? I'm like, yeah, but what's up? Because I'm like, at this point, like, I ain't even dead, man. Like, I just got, you know, I'm damn near in tears. I'm like, what? So he was like, you got some identification? I'm like, yeah. So I go upstairs, get my ID, and I put on some shoes, come back down, show him my identification. And sure enough, you know, what I didn't know then, you know, he later revealed to me that he was verifying my address to see what address was truly on my ID, which was my driver's license, actually, which just so happened to be the address that we were staying at.
That would have been like deja vu all over again. When they start asking me questions, I'm gonna get nervous because for why? Why you need to know? What are we doing here? It would have brought me back to when she was at the police station trying to get her mother and sister out. That would have messed me up.
Well, I don't think Sagittarius was there. Sagittarius had her own apartment, probably like in a complex, maybe like 5 minutes away from going home. So she wasn't far, but she wasn't there that particular day. Once we left court, she went her own way. I went my own way. Well, after I showed him the identification, he verified, you know, that I am a resident there, whatever the case may be. He say, how long have you been staying here? And I'm like, we've been staying here since 2005, whatever, you know, I'm sorry, 2002. I don't know why, y'all, my years and all this stuff started sign. Anyway, I told him, I said, I've been staying here since 2002. Okay, we in 2007, so that's 5 years. So he's like, okay. So he was like, do you know, now I was just gonna say her name, but I'm gonna keep it funky, right? I'm gonna keep it funky just because I ain't been saying her name. So he asked me, did I know somebody by the name of so-and-so, which is the neighbor from here. So I'm like, yeah. So soon he said her name, y'all, I was like thinking to myself, what the fuck this bitch done did? Like this fast. Like, what have she done? Like, nobody even seen her. Since we've been out, I ain't even seen her. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, okay. He was like, well, she has, the judge has granted her a restraining order against you. And I'm like, restraining order for what? And he was like, he pulled out the paperwork, and you know, he was kind of browsing through it. He wasn't reading everything verbatim. It was just like whatever. On this said date, you made threats to blow her effing brains out. You threatened her life. You threatened her children. Like, the man saying this, y'all, and I'm sitting right here with my mouth open, like, I did what? Like, I just got out of jail not even 24 hours ago. I ain't even seen this lady since I've been out. Like, what are you talking about? So he was like, the restraining order is temporary until you go to court. He was like, but as of right now, you are violating the restraining order because you don't supposed to be 200 feet within her. Mind you, y'all, I told y'all she stay across the field. So if that's, let's say, 50 feet, I guess, if you really being technical. So he was like, right now, you are in violation of the restraining order. So I'm looking at him like, first of all, you just brought this restraining order to my attention. I didn't even know this lady had to put a restraining order on me. Second of all, I ain't did what this lady said I did or said what none of this. So the officer, he just really seen it. Y'all cutting up in these comments. Y'all is like, y'all shout out. I love it for y'all. So the officer, he really just seen like the frustration and the overwhelmness on my face. My mama, she came to the door, because she had put one out on my mama too. My mama, all that or whatever. So she put one out on me, my mama, Sagittarius, and Leo. Mind y'all, Leo never got caught. The night of the shooting, I told y'all, Leo got on up out of there. So she, at this point, she's still at large. She never got, but she still was taking, warrants and restraining orders out on everybody, even still. So she got one out on me. She got one out on my mom. She got one out on Sagittarius and Leo. Okay, so he go tell my mom to do the same thing. Go get her ID. My mom come down, show proof. She stay there. Well, again, he was trying to really be on them, like in the middle. Like, he knew it was some BS, but because I'm telling him, like, sir, we just got out, did 32 days. Like, I ain't did or said nothing to this lady. And so, but of course, he got a piece of paper that is, signed and ordered by the judge. He have to, upstand, this order. So he said, I tell you what. And I'm saying, he like, well, you got to leave, basically like I told you, 200 feet within her. You got to leave. I was like, where am I going to go? Like, I have no, leave and go where? This is home for me right now at this point. Yeah, I had other family member houses who I can go, but yeah, I just got out of jail. Like, I'm trying to, process all this stuff. Going to see a probation officer, pretrial officer, this, like it, losing trying to figure out where my next dollar gonna come from. Yeah, the boy's father, he was holding it down, but at some point, I need to get back, on track. So the police officer, he told me, he said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. He said, I'm gonna go up to the rent office. He said, and if you're on the lease, he said, I'll let you stay here, is what he said. Even though, y'all remember I told y'all I showed him my driver's license that had the address on there. But he was like, I have to go, a little step further. He said, I call my sergeant. He said, I let them know what's going on. He said, and what the best I can tell you is just to stay in the house. He said, don't let her see you. He said, because every time she see you, she gonna call the police. I said, okay. So the police officer, he go up there to the rent office, where he come back and he say, I just went up to the rent office. They pulled the lease. You not on the lease. My mama took me off the lease after I was 18 years old. So, because at this point, we in 2007. So, granted, I'm 20. I'm 20. So, my mama had, or I'm 19. Was I? Hell, well, however, I forget how I am these days. How old I am. But nevertheless, so my mama had took me off the lease when I turned 18. So, I be down. When he went up there to verify was I a resident on the lease, I wasn't on the lease. Even though we had the, even though I had the, the address on the license. So he come back, he say, you're not on leash, you gotta leave. So he said, I'm gonna give you 20 minutes to go in there. Oh, he might have said 10, y'all, I can't remember. He gave me between 10 to 20 minutes to go in there, grab as much stuff as I possibly can, and, go. And so now I'm having to call the boy's dad, tell him like, hey, when you get out of work, I won't be here. I gotta go over Sagittarius' house because this dumb bitch done called the police and I told them that I threatened her, me, Sagittarius, my mama, we done threatened her, all this stuff. So he frustrated, everybody frustrated, because it's like, at this point, bitch, you done did enough, right? And then you done did enough in a situation where you started it. You created it, right? So that's that narcissist shit, right? Where you create a situation and then you become a victim in it. Like, bitch, how could you be the victim when you started this whole thing? Like, if your sister, if you would have never started that room, if you would have never been messy and did what you did, none of this stuff wouldn't be going back and forth. Your sister wouldn't, you called your sister over there, she would have never got, she got, these people would never got, shot, whatever. All that would have been, neither here nor there. Y'all bear with me too. I told y'all earlier I'm coming down with something, so I'm be hitting the cup, in between, because I don't want to get choked up. But so I go ahead on and I grab a few items what I could. I go to Sagittarius house. So I'm like, I think maybe 2. I don't know how many days later, y'all. I was having to go to court again. Now it's for this restraining order. It could have been 2 weeks later, y'all. Hell, it could have been a week. I'm not sure. Mind y'all, when he gave me the paperwork, I didn't even study the paperwork, y'all. I'm discombobulated. I'm upset. I'm mad. I'm crying, because still I'm just like, God, I don't know what I did deserving of this. All I know is that a situation happened. I was present when it happened. Granted, I stayed here. So the worst what was the most anybody could expect me to do? Run in the house and leave both of my sisters and my mama outside to fend for themselves. Like, I had to stand out there. But Lord knows, I did not have a weapon. I did not fire a weapon. Like, so this is what I'm thinking, right? As I'm just talking to God, like, why am I going through this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this? Now, I get the whole, 32 days or whatever. They really wanted Leo, because Leo was on the run, but because we didn't, tell what Leo was, they held us, right? As long as they could possibly hold us. And 32 days was like, at some point, the max. So I'm just frustrated again. I don't have no other alternative as to what to do. Well, our court date for the restraining order was probably like a week or so away. So I stayed away, for that whole week or so or whatever. I would sneak over there, and it's so sad that I got to use the word sneak, but that truly is what I was doing. I would go through the back door of the apartment, go there, bring my children food or see them, get clothes, whatever, then sneak back out the door. It was that type, y'all. It was almost like I was in jail all over again. Cause here it is, I can't even come to my own home. Cause if the bitch see me, she can call the police and it be what it be now. They couldn't do that with my mama because again, the department in my mama name, my mama on lease, so it was just almost like them telling her, look, you use your back door. Basically, the police telling my mom like, okay, you don't supposed to be within 200 yard or feet or whatever, within her too, but you stay here, so you use the back door. So, all right, y'all, it was like super uncomfortable for that whole, like I said, week and a half. So we getting ready to go to court. Now I finally pick up the paperwork to read the details of the restraining order. Now you remember I told y'all the police said that we threatened to blow her effing brains out. We threatened her children. We did all this crazy stuff, right? So I'm reading the details and it's brief on the restraining order, but I realized one key part on there, and this was because when they write it, which is her, that Nate from Hell, the portion where she wrote what happened. I'm reading the time that she said this stuff took place, and I'm reading, the stuff that she said we did. Well, in the date. Well, the time and the date that Sus said we did all this didn't add up. And it didn't add up for several reasons. Because you remember I told y'all in the beginning of this story time, when I got out the next day, what did I do? I went to court, right? We had like an 8 or 8:30 court. Okay, first appearance. Okay, after first appearance, remember I told y'all I went to go report to the pretrial officer, Bruce Romanoff. Okay, had a whole 2-3 hour sit down orientation with him. And then after that, what did I do, y'all? I went to go get my separation notice from the job. Remember I told y'all I didn't get back home until probably about 2, close to 3. So I am reading the details on this restraining order. And the math ain't even mathing with you, ho. You a liar, and you just do this what you do. Now we had no idea the type of person that we was dealing with until we got in this situation. Yeah, you remember I told y'all we heard little stuff about her because she came from another hood down the street. So we heard little stuff about her that she was crazy. Her baby dad she ran off this. Her baby daddy, new girlfriend, little stuff like that, but never to this psychotic, stream. But the bitch was psychotic for real. Nevertheless, so I told I called that manager, my manager one who I told y'all who I seen when I went down there to get my separation notice. I asked her, I said, hey, can you go to court with me on said day? I told her what's going on. She said, sure, no problem. She said, is this concerning the same situation? What, you just got out of jail for? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, it's the same lady. I'm like, she keep jugging. And she was like, yeah, of course I'll go. She's like, no problem. So I'm reading, the details that which this dumbass bitch done put on the restraining order. And she like, girl, no, it couldn't be possible because you was with, you was here. I'm like, exactly. So, okay, she got a restraining order on 3 people again. Me, Sagittarius, and my boy 4. Leo, who is on the run, so you're not gonna get her to come to court. Myself, Sagittarius, and my mama. Okay, so my mama had her own witnesses and stuff like that, character witnesses and stuff, because that's what my mama lawyer was telling us. It was best that we bring people to court with us that could be character witnesses, to just get up in front of the judge and say, hey, this is not, these people are not like this. How she paying them to be, they're not like that. So my mama used my stepdaddy's sister, which is my auntie-in-law. She used her as a character witness. That auntie, I got to tell y'all about her too later on in the story time. Listen, Matlock had nothing on her. When I tell you she turned into a family detective, that's how we found out all this shit about that bitch. Like my stepdaddy's sister became a PI and literally found people that she had done did this to. This shit get crazy. So I told y'all yesterday, I said, y'all, the second part of this thing, it takes off, it's a leg of its own, right? So my mama used her sister-in-law, which is my stepdaddy's sister, as a character witness, and I think the next door neighbor, which was to the left. Remember I told y'all we was cool with the next door neighbor to the left. So she brought her to court because again, she the neighbor, so she was privy to all this stuff that was going on. She knew. Okay, Sagittarius used her boyfriend at the time. She used his mama, and maybe like two more other people from the neighborhood. Well, me, I only brought in my manager because I just only felt like it was important, which I knew I could have pulled other people, as character witnesses. But I'm like, I read that restraining order. I studied it. I'm like, what she's saying we did when she say we did it is no way we could have done it, right? So we go to court. This bitch done brought all her children there. Remember I told you them children was just as cuckoo as her. She had trained them. She had really, and I can only imagine what type of people they are today. Because half of them, if not all, should be adults. They probably effed up in the head because she really messed them children up, right? So we get to court. She's sitting over there to the left side of the court, over there in the little bench area, her and all her children. Well, all the ones she brought to court were. So, the judge, finally started calling, our name. So my mama go up there. They call my mama first. No, they call Leo first. That's when, the court was made aware that Leo was on the run. That she has not been apprehended yet. Blase, blase. Okay, so then they move on to my mama. My mama get up. The judge. What the judge was doing was giving everybody the opportunity to explain. And tell their side as to did we or did we not do what she said we did. Well, my mama get up. She like, I was in the house all day. I didn't come outside, and I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't threaten her. I didn't this, and I didn't that. Okay, so my mama character witness, which was, remember I told y'all, the next door neighbor to the left, she get up. She was like, she's not that type of person. She cool. She was like, this lady is, she, has gotten into it with all of us out there. I'm a neighbor. I have gotten into it with her too, her children. So it was this whole back and forth. So the judge, heard my mama character witness, and was just kind of like, okay, that's it. And they was like, yeah. She was like, okay, y'all can have a seat. So Sagittarius get up there. Sagittarius tell her side, well, I got out of jail that night. I got out this night on this day, and I went home. I didn't even come out there. Which Sagittarius telling the truth? She didn't come to going home. She didn't. So she was like, I don't know what she's talking about. This, that. Sagittarius character witnesses get up, which was her boyfriend mom at the time. And again, they telling the judge that this lady is crazy. They were like, she done got into it with everybody. This is what she do. She just, so the judge at some point, y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. This before I got up there. And I'm not gonna try to toot my horn and make it seem like, oh, if it wasn't for me. But I'm saying what I'm saying is if it wasn't for me, right? So I'm glad I went last because I was able to not only read the room and just see the judge like facial expression, like she was kind of really buying what the neighbor from here was selling. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all because again, my mama ain't the type of, she not no violent or aggressive woman, right? She like I told y'all, you gotta take her there. So when she got up there to defend herself against the allegations, she merely was just like, Your Honor, everything been fine. The minute my two daughters get out of jail, that's when she want to start back picking. She haven't said nothing to me. I haven't said nothing to her since I've been out, whatever. So my mama, she was kind of soft-spoken and, real kind of like, this is all a lie, Your Honor. Like, don't believe her. Sagittarius got up there kind of like disgusted, like, fuck it. Like, it is what it is, man. She done lied and got away this much. So what you gonna believe? Like, I got up there. So they called me. So, she told me, she was like, okay, what do you have to say? That's literally what she told me. She asked me, I'm sorry, what do you have to say? And I'm like, well, I mean, I said, Your Honor, I looked over the restraining order. I said, when I was served with the restraining order, I said, I finally looked over it. I said, and the date and time that she's accusing us of threatening her and her children's life, I said, I wasn't even at home, right? So the judge said, you wasn't at home. I said, no, I wasn't. I said, and I have a witness here to contest to me not being home. So I said, that morning, the morning after we got out, I said, we had to be to court. I said, we had to be there at 8:30. I said, and after that, I went to go see my pretrial officer. I said, and I was there for like 2.5 hours. I said, and right after that, she said, hold up. This is what the judge said. When I would literally give her a timeline, walking her down. I said, she said, hold on. She stopped me. The judge did. She looked over there to the neighbor from hell. She said, when did this said event take place? Like what? Oh, it was like the night they got out of jail. Now, mind y'all, I told y'all it was midnight. By the time we pulled up in the parking lot, when I pulled up with the boys, it was like midnight. Nobody was out there. Nobody. I just in the house. First thing I did was ran bad water. Up my children, ran bad water. So she was like, "Oh, yeah, it was when they got out. That night they got out." So the judge said, "Do you got any witnesses of them, anybody that can, verify, testify that they was threatening you? The judge started reading out the restraining order. You said they gonna slice your, they said that they were gonna slice your effing throat, they were gonna blow your effing brains out, they were gonna do whatever your kids." Yeah, my daughter, she heard them. Got this at the time, I'm gonna say her daughter probably every bit about 10 and 11. Got this 10, 11-year-old little girl getting up on the stand in front of the law to lie. So the little girl, the judge, gave her an opportunity to, well, she didn't go in front of the court on the stand. It was like a little box on the side. She told the little girl to go over there. And so she was like, "So, what is it that you heard?" Well, they were like, they told my mama to shut up, stupid B. And like, they were gonna shoot my mama and they were gonna stab us. And the judge said, "That's what you heard, sweetie?" She was like, "Yeah." So the judge was like, "Do you know which one of them said that?" And she was like, "No, I don't know. I don't know which one of them said it." And the judge was like, "Okay, thank you, sweetie." She was like, "You can go back over there and have a seat." Right. So now I'm like,
got
okay,
that baby over there
cooking.
lying.
I'm telling myself, like, okay, keep cooking and keep throwing them facts out there, because they timeline is not timelining. They timeline is not timelining, right? So when the judge dismissed the little girl and told she can go back over there and have a seat, she told my witness to come back up. Is what she did. Now, the only two things I was able to tell the judge before she stopped me and started talking to the neighbor from here and the neighbor from here daughter, she asked me what I was able to tell her that we went to court at 8 o'clock, and then I went to go see Bruce Romanoff, the little officer guy. So she said, who do you got here for your witnesses? I said, "This is my former manager." She said, "Your former manager?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I had a job working at AT&T. I said, I've been working there the last 2 years. I said, Your Honor, I lost my job behind this." I said, "This lady," and y'all, it was almost like when I opened my mouth, I can't even, still to this day, and it's been again in 2007. So many years ago, still to this day, y'all, I don't know who was talking for me. I can't tell y'all. It's just like when my mouth opened, the words was just like this. I mean, you would have, hey, put me on the YSL, case, defense case. Because listen, your girl I had defense, I had it going. So I was like, Your Honor, I'm not the person that she's portraying me to be. I said, before all of this, I said I had a good job. I said, ever since I graduated from high school, I said I've been working at AT&T. I said, I've never been in trouble. I said, I got 2 kids. I said I've been a mother since I was 15. I said, I stay out the way, I stay out of trouble. I said I was enrolled to start college. I said I can't do that anymore. I said because I missed my enrolled day. I said so I got away. I said I have lost my job. I said, Your Honor, I said, this lady is coming down here and she is making a mockery out of the judicial system. I said, this is what she's doing. I said, because she's lying. I said, everything she said. I said, even all of the other allegations. I said, she's lying. So the lady, the judge, like, hold on. She's like, slow down. She's like, sorry, Miss Deon. She said, let me talk to your witness.
Listen, when you let the judge know that the person's making a mockery of the judicial system and a mockery of them, or making them look bad, look stupid, they don't take to that kindly at all. So I'm glad she was able to break it down and kind of lay it out for the judge, because like she said, it seems like her mother and her sister more so kind of like just gave up, like she done got away with all of this. Her mother, because it seems like she was saying, like, pretty much because she ain't really get in trouble like that, and she just knew she was operating on the truth. She was just saying, like, I'm telling you, like, this is what it is or whatever. And that wasn't enough for the judge. And then the sister giving up. and her kind of going into more detail. And that's what happens when you lie. That's what you get for lying on these people. Turns out you gonna fall right in the ditch that you try to dig for somebody else, because it's giving your timeline ain't timelining, like she said.
So she said, you can come up. So my witness came up. She said, what's your name? My witness told her name. She said, what time? No, she said, when did you see Miss Sims? She said, I saw her this day, around this time. She came out there to get her separation note or whatever. She said, and how long was she up there? She said, we talked for about 45 minutes. She said, and after we talked, we hugged, and I told her I'd see her later. She said, okay, stop. This is what Judge told my witness. Stop. She turned over to the neighbor from hell. She said, what that they made all these threats to you? It was like, I think it was like 11:30 at night. Then she turned around to her children. What time that was? Just said, here, Miss so-and-so, called her by her last name. She said, Miss so-and-so, I need you here. She said, don't ask them nothing. She said, I'm asking you. She said, what time was this that they made these threats? I don't know. It was late. It was like dark outside. Like, so it could have been like 11 o'clock, 11:30. She said, so you said you called the police, right? Yes, I called the police. She said, so I should be able to pull the recordings and hear, this 911 call. Yeah, you can. You can, because even the 911 lady, she ain't say dispatcher, even the 911 lady heard them threatening us. Because even she said, wait, is that them? That's I just heard somebody say they're going to shoot. Is that them? And I told her, yeah, that's them. So now she in that line saying that the dispatcher heard us in the background yelling these things, said threats, right? So she said, okay. She said, so if I step away from the bench and I go in my chambers and I pull this 911 call, she said, am I going to hear them on this 911 call saying what you say they said? I mean, yeah, you should be able to hear. I don't know. They were kind of far away, so I don't really know, Your Honor. Like, I'm talking about y'all, she had a stack of papers this here thick, all kind of folders or whatever. When I tell you the bitch did, this is what that bitch did. She did this for real. And I'm going to say, we're going to talk about that part in a hot second. How my auntie, my stepdad's sister, uncovered all of this. So when she couldn't really convince the judge that if that judge pulled up that 911 tape that she was going to hear her saying all that, that judge said, let me tell you something. She said, she told us, and I can't remember verbatim, but basically the judge ran it down. She said, I went to school for X amount of time. She said, I paid X amount of dollars for my education. She said, I served as a, prosecutor here. She literally walked down her resume. All for her to say. And I don't take lightly for a person like you to come in my courtroom and not only waste the court time, waste my time, but also too try to throw innocent people back in jail. She said, I'm gonna tell you what. She said, I'm gonna dismiss these restraining orders. She said, and if I ever see you back in here again trying to press charges on any of these individuals in here, she said, I'm gonna throw you in jail. She said, you understand me? Yeah, but I don't know how I'm gonna live out there like that with them out there saying and doing. She said, no. She said, she said, find somewhere else to stay. She said, if they're doing all this that you say they're doing, and they're threatening you scared for your life, they threatening your children. She said, find somewhere else to stay. She said, but if I'm telling you, if I see you back in my courtroom again trying to press charges on any of these said people, she said, I'm gonna throw you in jail. That lady hit that gavel. Listen, y'all, I had felt like, I was so, and when we got out there, we got in the middle of the hallway, my mom and them, everybody was just running up and hugging me like, girl, because not saying that my mom and them couldn't have pulled it out, but I feel like my mom was just, again, she was flustered and just kind of like, why is we still, Sagittarius was like, fuck it, it is what it is. And I was like, no, I'm not about to go through this again. Like, I don't know what's going on. So it was this one time, mind you, all my life I done been called smart mouth, big mouth, sassy, jazzy, you name it. Guess what, baby? That day and time, all that kicked in. And look, all that my mom and them had done told me growing up as a child, I had heard from other people in the family in the neighborhood, that smart mouth, that jazzy, that baby, it paid off because I kept our black asses from going back to jail. Because I really feel like had I not really just was smart enough to pay attention and kind of, that judge was gonna side with her because she brought them children up in there. And you know, everybody know people got a soft spot for the children. She even let them children get on the stand and lie. So it was just kind of one of the things where it was like I was so glad that I had the sense and the knowledge just to speak up. Like, Nene, don't lay down and don't. So y'all would honestly think that after this, okay, it will be like, all right, she didn't prevail with the restraining order, so whatever. But y'all, within 24 to 48 hours, she at the rent office. Telling my mama, telling the rent office that my mama got me staying there. I'm not on the lease, this, all that. So now the rent office is picking at my mama. We're not picking at my mama, jugging at my mama. If this person is found to be there, you're in violation of your lease, you're gonna leave, this. So that's when me and the boys daddy knew then. I said, we gotta find us somewhere else to go. I said, because I'm not finna be living somewhere in fear, sneaking in and out of a door. I'm not doing that. And then I wasn't even pressed about being out there too much longer anyway. I didn't, So, and again, my mama still needed that place to, continue to stay, and my siblings and so forth and so on. So as I'm preparing to move, y'all, and now I started back looking for work, because again, remember I told y'all I lost my job. So I'm starting to look for work, and I'm preparing to try to find somewhere else to, move or whatever. Y'all, she cooking. When I tell y'all, the bitch is cooking. So let's get to the auntie, my stepdaddy's sister. Now, when all this was going on, right, everybody that was over there in the area that we stayed in felt like, remember I told y'all, like, this lady was untouchable, right? Everybody was almost like they was scared to go up against her. And for various reasons, I can see how, because anytime she would call the police, it almost like they always sided with her funk ass. It's just like they just did. But she knew what to say. And now I'm saying crazy people, normally crazy people always know what the fuck to say. They just do. They build they lives off of being exactly that, right? So they was kind of like standoffish, like they was like, okay, we want to advocate for y'all, we want to help speak up for y'all, but when she called the police always side with her. So my auntie did a little research on her, became PI. I don't know how auntie found it, but auntie down there was going door to door. Every neighborhood that the neighbor from hell had stayed in prior to her moving out there to born home, my auntie went to. The houses, the neighborhoods or whatever, the projects or whatever. Well, that's when my auntie came across two of the neighbor from hell former baby daddies and met two of their baby mamas. The shit that them women had to say about this lady, y'all, when I tell y'all what she did to us was just a snippet of what the fuck she had been doing to people prior to, right? One of her baby daddy, baby mama said that the bitch had done put a cocktail bomb in that lady tank in her car. Yeah, I don't know how to make them. Y'all know we see them on the movies or whatever with the rag at the tip and the gasoline or whatever. She had put a cocktail bomb in that lady's tank. That lady she almost didn't even want to talk to my auntie. That's how much in fear that her baby daddy, neighbor from here, baby daddy, new girlfriend was of her. She was like, please don't put my name in it. Whatever you do, please. She like, no, I'm not. Because my auntie was smart. When she was pulling up on these people, baby, she had pen, pad, and she was recording. So this ain't no shit she just telling us. She coming back with, audio. We could hear this stuff. And on the tape, the lady is begging not to, be revealed or whatever. So the other baby mama, the other baby daddy girlfriend, she had her locked up. The girl told my auntie that she had came over there. It was, I guess they got to fight or whatever. She told the police that the girl pulled out a gun. The same outlandish accusations and shit that she was saying for us, she hadn't used in the past. So that's how my girl knew how to, get it, and whip it good. So, but that one baby mama, she did, that. Well, that one, her baby daddy, that one, when I'm telling y'all about the one who said that she had done it to her, she didn't care. She was like, I'll go to court, I'll do whatever. Like, this bitch got to be stopped. Like, whatever y'all need for me to do, whatever. Okay, so my auntie took it a step further. So not only do she do the background and private investigation on the neighbor from hell, well, she do it on the sister. Now y'all remember I told y'all last night when we was on here talking and chopping it up that the sister from hell got hit 2 times. Remember I told y'all she got hit in the thigh, and y'all know the other place. Y'all guessed it in the comments. The other place she got hit at. If y'all new to this live, people in the comments, tell them, fill them in. Well, the other sister got hit at. So she got hit in the thigh in another place. Yep. Okay. Cool. Y'all got it right. Alexander, you gotta read the comments, boo. I can't. Certain stuff I just can't say on here. I won't say. So boom. Now y'all remember I told y'all I had seen the neighbor from hell's sister. Not even after the shooting, I hadn't seen her because remember I told y'all we got locked up like a week later, so I hadn't seen her. But what they were saying, she was in critical condition, is what they were saying. That's what the report said. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I really thought, I told y'all, I said I felt sorry, I felt a little bad for her, even though she did mace Leo. She maced Leo. She pulled up and and chose violence. Nevertheless, I did feel sorry for her when she got hit in the other place. But okay, so you supposed to be in critical condition. That's what you tell. That's what they got listed. That's And so when I did finally see you, this is like a couple of days after your sister lost the restraining order and shit like that. So y'all, once the judge lifted, threw that out. Yeah, I'm back out there. Listen, what it say? Back outside. Now, baby, man, listen. I was walking up and down that sidewalk 12 times. Like, bitch, call police now. Cause what? Cause bitch, I'm probably gonna call them on you now. I'm finna play your police game at this point. So I see her, and I'm expecting to see somebody in a wheelchair, right? Cause you was in critical condition. You got shot in all these sensitive places, and I really, bitch, you walking. Bitch, at some point you quit walking. Listen. Bitch, you not hurt. You not hurt. I thought you died. I'm just saying, that's what I thought. I'm just telling y'all what I thought. Because that's how they made it in the report. It was like, why? Y'all gotta stop me coming. Y'all gonna throw me out. Y'all cutting up so bad. Y'all gonna throw me out. But no, why Sister from Hell is filing a lawsuit, a wrongful lawsuit against us. So and now I don't know why against me or Sagittarius and my mama, because we did not do it. But nevertheless, Leo was out there. Nobody could even find Leo if they wanted to. Before there was finding Nemo, there was finding Leo. Do you hear me? You could not find my girl. Where in the world is coming San Diego? Like, out of there. Put up real nice, right?
Not before there was a Finding Nemo, there was a Finding Leo. That was funny. I cannot.
So she filing wrongful,
these people are crazy,
injuries and shit and all that against us, or whatever the case may be. And then you got this attorney who is harassing us now, saying, you won't said amount of money because you was this and this. And bitch, you fine. But you walking with crutches, because when you get out the car, we watching you, so you got crutches. But bitch, one night, you didn't even know I was looking out my bedroom window. Bitch, you leaving your sister's house. Bitch, them crutches you gave the crutches to the little girl that was behind you, bitch, to walk. You didn't need no crutches. So you put on for your city when you pulled up, because you just wanted it. The motherfuckers was crazy, y'all. No, bitches was crazy. Birds of a feather. Okay. So we going back and forth to court. Leo ain't been caught, right? So remember I told y'all our charges was 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a firearm, doing the commission of a felony, right? A party to a crime, right? Those were our charges. Me, Sagittarius, my mom. Leo too, probably, but we're going back and forth to court. Now, this is how God works. Life works. It's just whatever. Our first initial judge, I can't remember who it was. I only remember the favorable judge. But the first initial judge, we seen him a couple of times, and it wasn't going nowhere. It wasn't going nowhere, y'all, for the simple fact they wanted Leo. They knew all along, like I told y'all last night, they knew all along we were not the shooters. They knew this. They knew we didn't fit the description. All the witnesses out there said it was this said person. The sister did. They knew this. They was dragging us. It was drag session for us because they thought that at some point, if they don't bend, they gonna break eventually. So we going back and forth to court every 3-4 weeks. We going down there and they rescheduling and resetting and do. They want Leo. They want Leo. They want Leo. Right? We get a new judge. Now I'm gonna fast forward some stuff, some because it's necessary. Because I think all the other stuff in between that don't really matter. I did, me and the boy's father and my children, we did end up moving. Sagittarius ended up letting me and my children and they father moving her apartment. She was moving out. She just wanted a new scenery, so she had an apartment. So she was like, "Huh, sister, y'all can come stay here." She ended up moving in with her boyfriend at the time. So that was, I love my sister for life, just because, but I love her for sure for that. So we go to Sagittarius' apartment or whatever. So we out of sight, out of mind, right? I'm not even pulling over there to them janky ass apartments like that. I'm calling my mama. I don't even go pull up over there. It is what it is. But because this stuff is going on and the neighbor from hell is jugging so much, going back and forth to the rent office, the rent office just told my mama she had to move. And in the process of the rent office telling my mama she had to move, Bourne Home was closing down anyway. Because around this time, this is when they started shutting down all the projects. And Bourne Home was like the next. So they had to start gradually moving people out, in clusters or whatever. Well, my mama found out she wasn't going to be one of the ones that, got the Section 8 to move out because of the charges and all that, which God knows what best, because I was like, Mama, before we moved out here to this motherfucking slum land, you wasn't getting no Section 8, no government, you wasn't getting it. So guess what? We backed them up to business as usual, okay? And it ain't no sweat off our back. Let's get the fuck out of here. Matter of fact, we ain't even taking nothing. How about we need all of this janky behind, is what I'm telling my mama, right? So we ain't tripping. She ain't getting Section 8. Okay, cool. So now her and my stepdad are on a house hunt, because at this point, they done got accustomed to larger space because there was a 5-bedroom. So they trying to find something, bigger. Plus my mama was still having children, like legit stuff. Because by the time, when we got to Bourne Home, my mama had 2 more children. And then by the time we moved out, my mama had another one. So anyway, nevertheless, we don't talk about mama and her cool cat. However, moving on. So my mama in the process of moving home, I said, if they trying to find somewhere else, I'm already gone. We still going back and forth to court. Right? And so we switched judges. Y'all, why I just so happened to get, and he passed away, y'all. This judge that I'm going to tell y'all about, he passed away in, I don't know, like a year or 2 ago. But he was the brother of my 10th grade homeroom teacher. That's how God works in mysterious ways. I remember seeing that, them telling us that we was, going to see a new judge. We went from the 8th floor to the 7th floor. Whatever, you got judge so-and-so, Marvin Erickson. And I never forget, I was like, I wonder, is this Miss Erickson's brother? Because she would always say she had a brother that was a judge, right? Sure enough, it was him. So before I get to tell you how this whole thing worked out with him, like I said, God gonna put your aces in the right places. All you got to do is pray and do the right thing. That's just all I can say. God gonna put your aces in the right places. Right? So we going back and forth to court. So again, remember I told y'all, we already knew that they want Leo. They want Leo. It's what they just getting time out of us now at this point. Time. Just us running back and forth to court. Woo. Well, Auntie still working. Don't lose sight of Auntie. Still daddy sister. Don't lose sight of her because she still works. She on her PI shit, right? So she done found these dead people. And you remember I told y'all only one of the baby daddies, the neighbor from here, baby daddy, baby mama was willing to come to court and say, hey, this is this. Even though we was no longer really facing charges against the neighbor from here, because now we're going back and forth to court for the aggravated assault and the possession of firearm, which was against the thief. If a lot of y'all don't know about the thief, y'all got to go back on my page and watch parts 1 through 6, because that's the thief was introduced then. But so we are going back and forth for the thief getting, pop out and the sister getting pop out. That's why we going. Those are the 2 aggravated assaults, right? So, but still, my auntie convinced the neighbor from here, baby daddy, baby mama to come, because it's just like we just trying to get them to see that this case is a bunch of baloney, and it shouldn't be going in for them people didn't shoot. She know them people didn't shoot. They know this. It is what it is. So, when we get to court, now y'all, we're gonna fast forward. We probably on our last court date, right? They done drug us for a year. We are a year into this thing. We are a year into this thing. I done found a new job again. Like I told you, I done moved. I think my mama was either in the process of moving by then or she probably had moved. Nevertheless, one or the other. Sagittarius gone. Leo, again, still out there. Ain't nobody heard from, seen from, nothing. But when I tell y'all, them people wanted Leo so bad, they put Leo in the newspaper. Okay? They put Leo in the newspaper. And let me tell you where else they put Leo in. Y'all remember they used to have them books in the gas station, and they used to have the pictures of all them wanted people. I don't know. I know it's an Atlanta thing. I'm not sure in other states they did that in other states or something like that. I don't know. But they put Leo, picture in that book. And so people would be calling us, or they would see us out. I see your sister. Look, man, tell your sister to lay low, man. I seen the book in the gas station, whatever, right? So we knew that they was like hunting Leo. But when I tell you Leo would put up real nice, she would put up real nice. And Leo would put up nice for such a long time to where one day Leo was like, F it, like I'm tired, I want to get out. So she convinced me to go out with her after she had been put up for probably a little bit over a year and a half, or whatever case may be. We go out to a spot from a neighborhood that we were from. So it's kind of like she was familiar with the territory. She felt comfortable. The night go off without a hitch. We go out, we cool. So we go out and everything cool, right? We get ready to leave out, and because we from this neighborhood, so a lot of the security that worked in that club knew us, right? And my sister was very known. Leo was very known from like I said, we from Simpson Road in Atlanta on the west side. Everybody know Leo. Leo was like, she ran them streets here. So we on the way leaving out, and one of the securities pulled Leo aside, like, hey man, you might wanna stay up out of here. These folk came through here showing a picture of you, asking, do you be coming in here? It was that day we knew, like, oh, this shit real. Like, we had heard, like, again, we got the calls about the posters in the, the gas stations, and they were popping up at my mama's house and stuff. But y'all coming to like clubs on the side, and showing pictures of her, and then telling people, well, if y'all see her, don't approach her. She's extremely dangerous. She's armed and dangerous, and this, that, and the other. Whatever. That lady was protecting her family, is what that lady was doing. That lady was protecting her family. That lady got maced with some mace and she had no other choice. She was backed up against the wall, and that lady had no other choice but to come out swinging. That lady mama was being attacked. That lady sister was that lady protected her family. That's what mighty Leos do. That Leo stood up out there, and that Leo got up. Listen. That's because that's what Leo do. You get me?
All right. So, what do y'all think about that statement? Do y'all think what was happening warranted her to pull out her Glock, her glizzy, um, and proceed to firing off? Do y'all think that was grounds? Do y'all think her like she? Because the thing is it's what you perceive. Like if you perceive your life to be threatened, then you have to protect yourself. You stand your ground in a sense. But I don't know if the court of law would see, or if even not even just the court of law, but people's opinions, right? Do they feel like because it was a brawl and that spray was being sprayed, that cayenne, you know what I'm saying, was being sprayed, that warranted the firearm? Now, again, I don't know how bad it was, and to be honest and to be fair, there have been people who lost their lives behind fights. So, I mean, it could very well be that she felt like, you know what I'm saying, I can't see, chances are maybe my people can't see what they about to do. What if they pull one out first? And you know what I'm saying, especially if she was pulling stuff out her bag, because one of the things she had said prior to was that she kept kind of going through her bag, and they might have felt like, well, we don't know what else she got in there. She might do this to blind us, but then come out with the glizzy after, or whatever after, you know what I'm saying? Or even them sharp objects that they use to, you know what they do with them sharp objects. So, but do y'all think that it warranted the firearm being pulled out? That's what I want to know. Y'all let me know. Make sure to comment. Let me know in the comments.
Saying, so it's like, don't try to paint my sister to be on no person that's round here talking about no, oh, she armed and she dangerous and she this and she that. No, that lady did what needed to be done. As a matter of fact, that lady did what any other said sibling would do for their family who gonna ride. Like, that's what it is. So we knew the heat was turned up. We knew the pressure was on. So after that, we didn't go out there. We listen and we, and so we didn't go out no more, right? I said, sister, go somewhere, sit down, get back in hiding, type of thing. So hold on, y'all, they making me verify which color. So yeah, so there was that. Okay, so we fast forward. Mom and I moved out of going home. Again, you remember I told y'all I had already done moved. My mama at this point is pregnant again. My mama got pregnant again with child number 13. So we're going back and forth to court. Okay, let's get back to the fact that, again, the new judge is my 10th grade, my homeroom 10th grade teacher brother. Okay, Auntie done got neighbor from hell, ex's new girlfriends to come and testify, whatever case may be. The judge heard her out, but it wasn't on no stuff, like it was nothing that she really could help us with that case, because again, we wasn't really going up against neighbor from hell. It was her sister and the thief who had got, injured. And so it was them who was the victims, not the neighbor from hell. So I remember them calling my name, to come up or whatever. And again, the public defender, because I just kept a public defender. I wasn't gonna go. I didn't have the money to try to get a lawyer. But anyway, we stepped outside in the hallway. He was like, again, he kept iterating. They want Leo. I'm like, I don't know Leo. I don't talk to him. I don't know. Go back in. And so I had to go before the judge, because now they about to get ready to go head on. They want it, because again, this has been going on like over a year now. It was right at a year or maybe over a year. And so the judge, now we going up to get, our sentence or whatever. I think I might have agreed to, like, I wasn't gonna do no jail time. I tell y'all, I had did enough. I had did 32 days. So I think I might have had told the probation officer, I'm sorry, not the probation officer, y'all, but I had done told the public defender that I may do like a year. I probably do like a year probation. But that was just me just like wanting to get it over with, y'all. I want to move on. It's done. It's cooked. The cake been baked. I'm done, right? So when I got up there, before the judge started to talk and say whatever, I said, excuse me. I said, do you have a sister named so-and-so Arrington? I won't say her first name because may her soul rest in peace. She passed away a couple years ago. But he said, yeah. He said, how do you know my sister? I said, she was my homeroom teacher. She was my 10th grade homeroom teacher at Washington High School. And he said, yeah. He said, okay. He said, what you doing? He said, I don't think she would be happy to see you in here in trouble. I said, Your Honor, I didn't do what they say I did. And he said, yeah. He said, you'll be surprised how many times I hear that coming through here. I said, yeah. I said, I know. I said, but I'm true. I said, I'm being honest with you. I didn't do it. And so he said, well, let me ask you something. He said, well, if anything, what valuable lesson, has this situation taught you? And I told him, I said, well, I can't really say. I said, because again, I didn't do, I said, I can't say I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I said, because I was at home, so I don't know. I said, but it's something that, again, y'all, here go that mouthpiece of mine, right? So I said, but it is something that your sister told me back when she taught me that really, really stuck out to me. And he said, and what is that? Y'all gotta listen. Hold on, take a sip. Hold on.
She hitting him with that gift the gab. Y'all, this is getting long. I'm gonna drop this one and come back with the second one. Well, not the second one. This is part 3 already. So we got part 4 coming up next. So stay on the edge of y'all seat. Remember, she said she was getting ready to tell the judge what his sister, which was her old homeroom teacher, told her. This whole scenario, I mean, the odds of her getting her old teacher's brother as a judge, wow. But keep up, y'all. Make sure y'all keep in mind what's going on. Don't forget to let me know what y'all think as far as what Leo did with the whole situation. Do y'all feel like it was warranted? Do y'all feel like it was necessary to bring it to that level? And I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it isn't. I want to know your perspectives. I want to hear what y'all think. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to make sure y'all thumbs are lit. Subscribe to this channel, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Listen, I like chocolate girl, all shades, different flavors. She a diamond and a pearl. She a goddess with a mentor, yeah. Cinnamon swirl. She relate to what I've been through, yeah. Queen of my world.